Hello again. I had a friend that got one of my subscribers has been watching my videos for quite a while. He had an X-Max like I did at one point in time, and he's always been a nitro person and gas person. Well, he thought he would like the X-Max due to how quiet it is, and he ended up buying some 5,000 milliamp hour Traxxas LiPo batteries, 23S batteries, and they puffed within a year. Usually with Traxxas, they'll replace those, but honestly, replace them and sell them. Don't use Traxxas LiPos; they're junk. C rating isn't accurate, and C rating is how fast it can discharge. Meaning, if you try to pull more amperes than what it can discharge, it'll puff up, or worse. But this video is how to pre-mix two-stroke gas and fuel. One thing I was forgetting was gas. With two strokes, usually he ended up getting the big bore kit for his DBXL. It makes it from 23 cc's to 29 cc's, and that's what I have on every one of my vehicles, 29 cc's at least. Some of them are 30.5 with the stuffed crankshaft. But most of the time you're going to want at least 29 cc's. So especially if you go with stuffed crank, there's going to be a lot of compression, and if you use a lower octane rating like 87, there's a possibility that once the engine gets up to operating temperature, there can be what's called detonation, and that's when the air fuel mixture combusts before the spark plug ignites, and that can damage your engine. So that's why the only fuel I use is 93 octane. And when you go to get 93 octane, you're going to want to pump about half a gallon into your car. So you're ensured that all you're getting is 93 octane, not a mix of whatever the person that used the pump before you and still in the hose and 93. You want to ensure that you get only 93 octane. And I always have this little gallon jug, and this is actually full right now. But he was curious, how would I go about figuring out 25 to 1, 30 to 1, 32 to 1, 20 to 1? Well, I already know most of them in my head. 25 to 1 is usually, I believe, 40 milliliters of oil to 1,000 milliliters of fuel. I do milliliters. You can have this is basically a mixing container. I pour it out right here. With a DBXL, you're going to want a funnel or some type of tube coming off of it, or you can always use one of these if you have an extra one, a nitro bottle. It only holds 500 milliliters. And tanks and fit scales are usually about 750 milliliters, so that could be a problem. So you're going to want at least a nitro, or some type. You can even use a old oil bottle, 1 liter of oil, or 1 quart. That's basically 1,000 milliliters. You're not going to want to get oil like this. This is Evinrude Johnson. This is the very first oil I got, and as you can see, it's still quite full. I don't use this because this isn't good for RCs. Honestly, it's really thin. Right now, I'm running Maxima Caster 927. There's also Klotz. I believe it's Klotz R50. There's Amsoil Saver Pro. But then it comes down to, okay, how much oil do I add to my gas? There's apps. There's apps for everything. There's even a website. So One of them is actually named two-stroke gas oil mix. Another one is two-stroke calculator. So let's go two-stroke gas oil mix. Calculate. So right here, you put what ratio you want. So let's go with 25 to 1. That's usually what manual state. And then that would be liters. So 1 liter, calculate oil. So 40 milliliters of oil to 1 liter of gasoline, petrol, whatever you want to call it. This one is mixed 32 to 1. So with 32 to 1, you just move the little dial over. I don't know how well this can be seen. And then calculate again. 31.25 milliliters of oil to 1,000 milliliters of gas. If you have this, you just take the amount of oil and divide it by 2. 31.25, that would be a little bit more than 15, like 15.75, something like that. I don't know exactly. I'm not going to do all that in my head right now. This is just what I use to measure my oil is this tiny little measuring cup. These can be bought at Walmart for $2. It has milliliters on this side, ounces on this side, tablespoons on this side, cups on this side, and on the inside, ounces and tablespoons too. So this is a really cool thing. And all I would do is take my oil, put it in here, just pour it in here up to, usually I run 32 to 1. Now, usually with break-in, you're going to want 25 to 1. You're going to want a little more oil to lubricate the parts while they're breaking in. But after that, I've seen people with AMSOIL Saver Pro go as lean as 70 to 1 and not harm the engine at all. And yes, using Changyang engines, the CY engines. They come stock with our RC vehicles usually. Unless you're getting like a, what's the name of it again? The Kraken Vecta. Chris Bartolone is actually helping out with motors for it. So you're actually getting a Performance 32, a Zenoa G320, and maybe even bigger than that. With a kit, you don't get a motor, you get to pick your motor, and two-stroke fifth scale motors are not cheap. This is a axial 32.32 cubic inches. That would be about 5.1 cc. So yeah, but this thing makes about the same amount of power, but not as much torque, and also you have to get at a very high RPM with this. This one is around like 4 horsepower, but at 35,000 RPM. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But one thing I do every time before I run, or if I have fuel in my vehicle, I'll shake the vehicle, because the oil will settle to the bottom. It won't stay completely mixed all the time. If you leave it sitting, the oil will settle to the bottom of the gas, so you're just going to want to give it a shake. I'm not going to shake this that vigorously because I'm inside and I don't want to get gas all over the place. I actually had a balloon right here that I was trying to use as a seal, but it broke off, so yeah, that can go. So this is something that you may want to invest in. If you have a nitro bottle, you can always just use that and just make 2 of them. I really don't suggest doing an entire gallon. An entire gallon will be 4,000. A little bit more than 4,000 actually. But once you do an entire gallon, you're going to have to burn all of that fuel before you can change your ratio. I like to change ratios, like on different vehicles. I like to use different ratios. Tomorrow I'm getting a 5T, more than likely. I'm trading a vehicle for it. I'm not going to get into specifics, my stuff. But it'll complete my trifecta, the Baja. I have the Baja 5 SE, and now I have the Baja 5T. And now they have the Baja 5R, which I'll have to definitely get that. Um, but yeah, it's very simple to do it, especially with apps and stuff like that. I've memorized how much oil I have to do for certain. For 25 to 1 is 40 milliliters. To 1,000 to a liter. 32 to 1. Those are the two that I mainly use. Once I get some, after I use all of this Maxima Castor 927, I'm going to go to AMSOIL Saver Pro. It's fully synthetic. This is a castor oil based. It's based off castor oil. It's really, I haven't had any problems with it. Smells great. Klotz has a sort of weird smell. A lot of people with my O'Donnell Race Blend fuel, they really don't like the smell of it because it's a full synthetic blend. So it doesn't smell like nitro fuel usually because there's no castor oil in it. Usually with nitro oil, with fuel, there's going to be castor oil in it. But the fuel that I use is fully synthetic, 8% oil. And I said this in videos in the past. It does not matter how the percentage. Well, yeah, the percentage does matter, but you don't have to freak out if you hear like 8 or 9%, especially from like O'Donnell or Byron's. They know what they're doing. Some people have had problems with Byron's. Personally, I don't know why I'm on nitro fuel when we're talking about gasoline, but personally, I like O'Donnell because even the viscosity of the fuel itself is a little thicker, so that will aid in lubrication. But yeah, with two strokes, it's very simple. You just need a bottle that you can mix, a mix bottle. Some type of small measuring cup. We went over that. $2, $2.50 at Walmart. With DBXL, you're going to want a funnel so you don't have to take the body off every time you decide to add gas. Because taking the cage off is a pain in the butt because there's 12 body clips to get the DBXL cage off. With the Baja, it's very easy. The Baja, there's nothing on it. But when you get to stuff with bodies on it, it's a little more of a pain in the butt, but like my 5SC, I have to take the body off. That's only 8 body clips, but still. That's why it's better if you can get a bigger fuel tank. They're made. So that's pretty much it. There's apps for what you want to run. But stay away from the cheap stuff from Walmart. You need to find your local power sports store. They'll sell motorcycles, dirt bikes, four-wheelers, side-by-sides, all that stuff. And they'll also have all these different oils. They'll have pre-mix bottles, all that stuff. And so you'll be ready. You'll have everything that you need, and you can get it all from one place. They even have a I don't know exactly what it's called. It looks like an upside down cone, and it has measurements, and that's how you can measure oil to fuel. And sometimes some of them even have written on the side of it, for this is how much oil you're going to want to add, and then fill it up with fuel. So that's really all there is to it. I'll also do a complete tuning video on, it's starting to rain pretty good. I can't go outside and do anything right now. It's raining. It's a very cold rain. It's strangely cold here in Georgia right now. Northeast is about to get blasted with a blizzard, so I can't go outside and do things. I'm stuck inside with my minis, my micros, I've got 3 of them, and there's an eBay seller that sells. Yeah, where you at? That sells these little batteries, these little Nanotech 180 milliamp hour 3S batteries. that are great for these. Not this one. This one can only take 2S. The brush version can only take 2S. And even then you want to be careful or get a metal pinion gear because the plastic one will melt off the motor shaft. But with these, it already comes with I believe a brass pinion gear. And 3S in the house is insane because 3S on this little thing, it has a 9,000 kV motor, and on 3S that little sucker is going to be spinning its little heart out above 100,000 RPM, and they are quick. I still need to do a video on these. I have 2 of the brushless and 1 brushed. The brushed I'm going to change over to a Rally and put a Accelerant brushless system in it. But yeah, on days like today, these cars are perfect because you can have fun indoors. Another one of my friends is talking about getting a Merv Mini E-Revo for inside, but honestly, those are too big for inside. You're going to want like a 1/24th scale or even a 1/32nd scale. This I particularly don't like. It was an impulse buy. It was fun for a little while when I first got into the hobby, but now it sucks. I actually parallel soldered in 2 batteries because one problem you will come across with these is they have internal lipos and the internal lipo will go out. So then you have to take it apart, solder out the lipo, and put a new one in. And these are the smallest lipos I've seen. This one is a 60 milliamp hour single cell, so 4.2 volts completely charged. I don't like electric myself. I like nitro and gas, and I'm getting rid of a lot of my electrics except for 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 electrics that I'm keeping. My Exceed Racing, Driftstar, my HPI, RS4 Sport 3 Drift with a Castle brushless setup, my Sport 3 Flux, and my Raider, because the Raider brushless is just mental on 3S. It's just insanely powerful on 3S, and I actually put some better tires on the rear. I did a video on it. So, there's your answers for the mixing of 2-stroke oils. So, hope this helps. Peace.